In honor of Black History Month, we here at Your Alaska Link want to shine the spotlight on the achievements of Black Alaskans. Continuing her week-long series, ABC Alaska's Whitney L.B. Miller joins us with part 4 tonight. Hi, Whitney.
Hi, Megan. There are so many influential people in the African-American community, and what's unique about the state of Alaska, we're still experiencing some firsts. Tonight, we introduce you to 3 people whose legacy will be preserved in the history books.
And then he fired me a telegram in return and said, "When can you leave?" And I said, "All I need is 24 hours.
Dr. Joshua Wright, a graduate of Howard University, was the first Black dentist licensed in Alaska back in 1958.
Well, I didn't give it any thought. You know, I was just trying to establish a practice. And fortunately for me, I started in March of 1958. And by December 1958, I was booked out 6 weeks in advance.
He wasn't only busy with patients, he was extremely involved in the community.
I was, I guess you call, ambitious and a busybody.
In 1969, he became the first African-American on Anchorage's school board, and 1 year later, he was elected to the state house. But the social paradigms weren't always so equal.
One thing I remember was the fact that when I first came to town, there were a certain section of Anchorage that blacks couldn't live in.
But he was determined to change that.
I refused to stay in certain sections, the section they thought I should stay in. And to the best of my knowledge, we were the first black to live in an apartment downtown.
Test and find you guilty as charged.
Breaking glass ceilings 3 years ago, Judge Pamela Washington is the first Black woman and the second African-American judge in the state's history.
It's unusual that Alaska is still new, but just to be the first, there have been African-American women on the bench for years in the United States. So we're just kind of catching up here.
While waiting to be appointed, Judge Washington recalls the controversy behind placing not only an African-American, but a woman to the bench.
Because here I was in my interview, and it was like an elephant in the room because I had read the papers. And said, will he do it?
Washington wants more people of color to follow her example of fearlessness and determination.
I always say that crossroads are things that we really experience every day in our lives, and especially when we think about Black History Month, it gives us an opportunity to see, think about and reflect about the people who have forged ahead through crossroads.
And one woman who knows a thing or two about crossing roads and party lines is Betty Davis, the first and only African-American state senator.
I always did care about families, and so that was never thinking that I was going to go into politics itself. Even when I went on the school board, I didn't think that it was political.
The former senator came to Alaska in '67, working as a nurse and social worker.
At that time, there were people that had been here before statehood. They were very active in the NAACP. They cared about the community. It reminded me of how I grew up at home because
home was the South, but now after several decades, Davis is proud to call Anchorage her home. She plans to run for school board again, bringing her service full circle.
You have to start somewhere, but we want to get beyond the first.
Change may take time, but with 12 years in the Senate under her belt, Davis may have been the first, but she knows she won't be the last. And join us tomorrow as we bring you the final installment in our series, Alaskan Black History. And join the conversation on Twitter. Follow us at YourAKLink and mark it with the hashtag #AKBlackHistory.
All right. Thank you, Whitney. Great story. That's Whitney L.B. Miller reporting for us tonight.